Now, for our final session today, I'd like to welcome once again Steve the Hurricane, owner of Hurricane Marketing Enterprises. He will lead the topic on living your brand, focusing on embodying what your brand stands for. Steve will dive deep into the importance of creativity and emotional connection in the modern marketing world. Please take the stage again, Steve, and enlighten us with your expertise.
Thank you. First off, thank you all for coming and joining. I feel like I was seeing all of you at lunch and we were chit-chatting and it was like, if you want to come in, living your brand, passionate, so on and so forth. And I'm going to share with you the real truth here. Like my nickname here, you see how there's a TM at the end of it, right? It is a registered trademark. And living the brand is one of these things that it simplifies things, right? Because when you look out there with all the different things that exist, we're at a marketing conference, we're at the internet conference, we're at the education conference. The information age is exciting. It's great, but there are a lot of challenges with it too because it's overkill, right? Every time you go on your phone, you scroll through your news feed, there's an ad trying to sell you something, right? I'm literally trying to look at what my sister shared pictures of my nephews and nieces, and I'm trying to be sold something. I watch a television program, there's commercials, always trying to sell me something, right? And after a while, we start to become tone deaf to it. That is the problem that exists out there. That is the danger that exists out there. And so when it comes to, at the end of the day, all the things that we just talked about this last session, all the things this entire event, people are going to buy from who they know, like, and trust. No matter what. People have brand loyalty. But that brand loyalty has to be created. What if I'm brand new in an industry? What if I'm brand new at what I'm trying to accomplish? This is where living your brand makes it easier because it's not so much about what we have to do on our own, but rather just being who we are, being authentic, being transparent. Real quick, is there anybody in the room raise your hand, do me a favor, raise your hand if you are a business owner. Let me see your hands, okay? Most of the people in the room. Is there anybody here who works for someone else, an employee, right? So you, whether you realize it or not, you are your brand. Right? You are your brand. No one is going to sell your company better than you can, right? And so these are where the challenges come in. Now, I'm not going to brag about myself, whatever. I am who I am. I'm on stage here because of it. But I do want to share with you, this is some pictures of me and my family and stuff. Maybe I'll come back to that in a second. But I want to share my story with you. When I first started Hurricane Marketing Enterprises in 2012, I started trying to be something that I wasn't. I started trying to be, I'm Steve the Hurricane. Now, this was a nickname that my business partner gave me from CareChoice, the healthcare company that I was a part of, in 2006. So I didn't don myself Steve the Hurricane. It's the nickname that he gave me, and it kind of just stuck when I started Hurricane Marketing Enterprises. But I started to 2012, 2013, trying to be bigger than who I am. And I would come home from work, come home from my office, and then I'd have to be a father, because I have children. I had to be a husband, because I have a wife. I'm also a minister, so I had to serve at my church and in my community and all these other places, and I'm starting to put on all these different hats, and it wasn't happening. And the reason why it wasn't happening is because all of the people that I was trying to be fake for saw that I was a phony. They saw that I was fake. And it wasn't until, and I'll never forget it for as long as I live, it was Labor Day weekend of 2014. I had literally $2,000 left in the bank. That was it. Now, if you heard a little bit before in my previous session, I owned a healthcare company that we sold for several $1 million. That means that in 2012, 2013, 2014, I blew through my cut of that sale. I had a little bit of reserves left in my retirement fund. I took that $2,000, I looked at my wife and my kids, and I said, we're not going to go on vacation for a long time. So I'm going to take you guys down to Atlantic City, because I live in New Jersey, and we're going to have a good weekend, because I don't know when we're going to get to do this again. I will never forget, for as long as I live, I wake up on Tuesday morning. I'm in tears. I'm about to start crying right now, right? Because I will never forget this moment, right? I literally had like a come to Jesus moment, right? I'm a person of faith. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. I got on my knees, hands down, and I just said, Lord, I can't do this. I don't know what to do. I need to find a way. And if this is what I'm supposed to do, I need a miracle, right? So I get up, and I go into my office. And when I go into my office, our phones were literally ringing off the hook. I got my miracle. That day, that Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014, we generated half the revenue we did the entire month of August. The day after, that Wednesday, we matched what we did that Tuesday. So in 2 days, we generated a month's worth of revenue. Fast forward, that was the best month I ever had in the history of my company up until that day. Then what happened with the living your brand? I started appreciating every single thing that I had. I started appreciating every single customer that entrusted me with the services that I was providing. I stopped looking at all the naysayers and the haters and everything else out there, and I just embraced it. And I said, you know, this is who I am when I'm a father. I'm gonna be the same way as a husband. I'm gonna be the same way as the entrepreneur that I am. And that's what living the brand is. And that's where you see these pictures here where everything has gone before. That's my wife right there in the top left corner. She is the eye of the hurricane. Anybody who knows me knows my wife, Susan. That's where our success comes from. And it's our success, right? You see my children in the bottom right here. And we are New York Giants season ticket holders. That's right. NFL. We just started getting good again. I used to say I am a season ticket holder of the 31st best team in the NFL. That's what I used to say. But now I say one of the best, right? I'm a boat captain. I'm into physical fitness. I was 40 years old. I wanted to do some fitness stuff. I'm 42 now. And yes, I do have my tattoo on my whole left shoulder here of my logo because I am Steve the Hurricane. And I've been Steve the Hurricane since 2006 when my business partner gave me that nickname, right? But I also realized that it makes things easier when you are yourself because you don't have to fake it. You don't have to pretend it. Those of you who are in this room right now, you see me talking, this is exactly who I was when we had lunch. This is exactly who I am when I was down at the craps table with my brother when we first got here. And we were winning some money. I won $81, right? You like how I did that, right? $81, right? What? I'm gonna win some more later on today, right? Because it's the same person. You don't have to try to represent your brand when you are your brand. And to my employees, right, the people who work for someone else, you are your brand. When you represent it in all that you are and all that you do, that creates opportunities for you to advance your careers in new areas and new opportunities or start your own company. These are all the things that happen. Even my tech people in the back of the room and the people here, you represent yourself every single day. So just be who you are at all facets of it, right? And I know it's not easy. This is my company. And again, don't take my word for it. You can see all these pictures of all the cool people who have come to my events over the years and all this other good stuff here. That was last year. That was last fall. This was a couple weeks ago down in Houston, Texas. And these are just some of the pictures of all of the thousands and thousands of individuals that I've been having the blessing to be able to share this brand in. Now notice what I'm doing here from a marketing and sales standpoint. I'm showing you social proof. Do you think I know what I'm talking about? Yes or yes? Yes, right? Clearly, right? Because I'm not suckering all these people into these pictures, right? That's living the brand. Everything has gone that way ever since. Let's see. And there's no time like now. Every single one of us can start this as soon as we get home. So here are the 3 tips I want to share with you. 3 tips to getting that freedom. 3 tips to being able, like, how, Steve, this is great. I'm happy for you. You figured it out. How can I do it, right? So here's the first tip. Know, like, and trust. The second tip, be yourself. Authenticity. Don't worry about what other people think. And then the last one is to just do it. All right? These are the 3 tips. First one, know, like, and trust. KLT. Here's the quote that we've all heard 1,000 times. People do business with who they what? Trust. They do business with who they trust. Think about every single successful brand and who is the CEO, founder of that company. You ever hear of Walmart? It's the Walton family, right? How about Amazon? Wasn't Amazon Day like yesterday or the day before? Who's the head of that? Who's the head of Amazon? Jeff Bezos, right? Everybody hear of Tesla? Who's the head of Tesla? Elon Musk. You ever hear of Facebook? Meta? Who's the head of that company? Yes, Zuckerberg, exactly. Even going old school for my older folks in the room, right? Remember Wendy's, Wendy's, burgers and stuff? Everybody remember Dave Thomas? He was in every single one of his commercials. My father met Dave Thomas. And Dave Thomas gave him this card that was laminated. It was for 10% off of Wendy's anywhere that he goes, right? And to this day, Dave Thomas has passed away since, for like 30 years, my dad probably saved $1 million at Wendy's because he's a VIP and he tells them and they're like, sir, I don't even know what this card is. Dave Thomas gave it to me and I have to use it. That's my old man, right? But he got it from Dave Thomas. Dave Thomas represented, he was his brand. His daughter is Wendy, right? Colonel Sanders, what does he represent? Kentucky Fried Chicken. In my northeastern part of the United States, we have Bob's Discount Furniture. I don't know if they're all over this, but they got Bob on TV. They even have the virtual Bob avatar. There's this company called Stuart Leonard's, which is like a Italian grocery in the New York City area. And I always make fun of the commercial because the guy gets on the radio, he's like, hey, it's me, Stuart Leonard, and you want to have a tomahawk steak this week at a tomahawk steak. It's like something from the Flintstones. It's got the big rib in it, and it's amazing. And I'm like, I can't stand this guy's accent, but man, I want to have a steak now. And I want to go to Stuart Leonard's and get the steak because he was talking about it, representing the brand. Now, if you're brand new in this room and you're thinking, all right, well, okay, Steve, this is great. You're talking about all these great companies. Well, they all started somewhere, right? The best way to establish credibility real quick is through client testimonials. Let's do that again. Client testimonials. There we go, right? So as I'm showing you this here, this is proof. Canoe, Fortune 500 business owner. That's he and I hanging out in Clearwater, Florida on a dolphin watching tour on the picture on the left here. The top picture in the top right, that's us hanging out in Nashville, Tennessee, smoking cigars, hanging out. I'm a cigar person. Anybody like cigars here? Let me see your hands. All three of us, right? So we might have to have a cigar later, but that's awesome, right? And then he and I ended up writing a book together. And he's one of the featured authors in the book. That's why you see that picture there, right? Client testimonials helps to sell and tell the story of living the brand. I say we're going to do all these things, but here's the actual proof of us doing it. Here's pictures of me with my clients skiing and snowboarding in the top left, going out in San Diego, Harbor Bay there. This is me visiting one of my clients' offices in Spokane, Washington. We went and saw the Jersey Boys play on Broadway in New York City. Top left corner, the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. The top right, I took some of my clients out on my boat. And as a minister, one of my clients wanted to be baptized. I baptized him in the Toms River, right? Because Jesus is my Lord and Savior. That is right? Living the brand. Living the brand. There's nothing fake about it. Same person in all these pictures. Just and by the way, you see this? Where was I in this picture over here? At the bottom right. Where was that? That's right up the road. That's right up the road. I walked there yesterday morning, took a picture of it, posted it on social media, right? And they're also at the Alamo. Don't forget the Alamo, right? Remember the Alamo. If you've never been, go. Great battle. How the Texans took over and got vengeance to the Mexicans, right? Like, that's what happened at the Alamo, right? I'm showing you that because that's social proof. Is this entertaining, right? I'm a presentainer. Oh, so you remember that, right? You were there, right? No. You were playing the game about the Alamo in the elementary school in Texas. I love it. I love it. But again, this is living the brand, right? Authentic, bold, unforgettable, like it says. This is all real. There's nothing fake about this. And you can see this on social media. Are there any influencers in the room? Anybody an influencer? Right. Social proof is everything. Testimonies get you established as the brand representation that you are. That's what makes people want to go with you because they know, like, and trust you through the social proof and the testimonies. So the next thing is to be yourself, because I know a lot of people are nervous. People are nervous. Well, Steve, what if somebody doesn't like me? What if somebody says something? Social media can be, I love social media and I hate social media because it can be one of the most damning places out there. I will never forget, for as long as I live, when I first started the company, remember, I used to own a healthcare company. I had all this market that I had developed. I had the nickname that was given to me, Steve the Hurricane. I started putting out Hurricane Marketing Enterprises, Steve the Hurricane. And these people who were my friends, who I did business with, would comment and be like, this is stupid. I wouldn't buy anything from him. I'm like, I thought you were my friend. Like, that hurt. It hurt a lot. But, if you've ever heard that song, Ride With Me by Nelly, and you hear that part where he's like talking about all the people hating him, and then they're all of a sudden like, oh, hey, Nelly, can I get tickets to your next show? What do you say? Hell no. You for real? Right? That's what he says in the song. That's what happens. all the haters turned around because the other 90% of the people were loving everything that I was doing because they saw the real person behind it. I want to help people. I want to make a difference. That's the Hurricane way. That's the Hurricane brand, right? So they saw it. Now, how does that translate to every single person in this room? It translates to every single person in this room and everybody back home. Hi, everybody back home watching in Dubai and other cool places around the world, right? I want to come to Dubai next year, okay? Thank you. All right. Confidence over fear. How do you do this? It's all about your company mission statement and your company core values. I'm going to ask anybody in this room, can you tell me what your company mission statement is? Go ahead, right here. Making healthy, holy. Love it. Anyone else? Reclaim joy through a holistic mind, body, and soul approach. I love it. Now, the only thing about it that I don't like is only 2 out of all the people in this room raised their hand and actually remember and memorize their mission statement. I'm not going to ask you what your company's core values are because a lot of people don't know that. But I can tell you right now, Hurricane Marketing Enterprises, we exist to help service providers find those in need of care. Our ultimate goal is to help these service providers increase their census revenue and profits. I can tell you right now, I have 10 company core values. Now, I only have like 5 minutes left because I've been talking so much here, and they only give you 9 seconds to talk at these conferences because I got 15 other people who got to go on stage next. But I can tell you right now, my number 1 core value is integrity. Number 2 is substance over flash. The reason why I am the person that I am is because I got results from my clients, right? Number 3 is teamwork. I have a team of 13 people that work for me, and I have coaches all around the world who are providing the services for all of my clients, right? So it's an amazing thing. It takes a team to be able to make things happen. Number 4, don't complain, improve, right? Stuff is gonna happen. Take the lesson from the issue that happened and let's figure out a way. Number 5, excel at communication. I can continue to go on and on and on through every single one of them. And the reason why I'm saying this is because how do you live your brand? You live your brand when you know your mission statement. You live your brand when you know your core values. Now, for my employees in the room, make your own. As a person, as Steve Weiss, I am a child of God, a man of power, passion, and wisdom. That is my personal mission statement. You could live your mission statement. You set it for yourself. You remind yourself of it. Every time you look in that mirror, every single time you get in your car and you go, you remind yourself of who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. You will attract your customers. You will attract the people that want to work with you because you are real. Does this make sense, everybody? Right? This is how it's done. This is how you live your brand. There's no phoniness about it. Colleen, I said I was going to call on you, right? So what I love about you, Colleen, right? And you and I were speaking, and you dropped an F-bomb, and you had some of this and that, whatever. You are who you are. And I love it. Change nothing about yourself for your business. Will there be some people who are turned off by it? Of course. And that's fine. They would not be good customers for you anyway. But the people who embrace it and love it, those are your best customers. They're going to be successful. They're going to have the outcomes that you are trying to help them to achieve. Whatever it is, whether it's a product or a service. Is this making sense, everybody? Yes or yes? Yeah? Oh, good. I hope so. You like that? Yes or yes? Only yes questions, right? Last one is just do it. Don't get hung up on the fear, just do it. This is something that I see happens all the time. Too many business owners, too many entrepreneurs, too many people get caught up in analysis paralysis. But Steve, it's gotta be perfect. It's gotta be right. I'm not ready. If the stars align, right? My older folks in the room, right? When the moon is in the 7th house, and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and I can sell, right? That was Aquarius, right? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I know not everybody in the room knows that song. It's a little bit of an older crowd, but the fifth dimensions are awesome, right? But the reason why I'm saying is people get so analysis paralysis. It's gotta be perfect, right? Please write this down right here. Done is greater than perfect. Done is greater than perfect. If you remember nothing from what I said today, please make sure you remember that. Done is greater than perfect. People get so caught up, let me ask you, Are you busy? Who isn't busy? We're all too busy. But getting things off the plate and moving forward, progressing, is going to be the best way to get stuff done, even if it's not perfect. Take initiative. Do it now. If it's not perfect, it's okay. You could do it again. As marketers, we have to stay relevant. As business owners, we have to stay relevant. So there's always an opportunity to do it again. Do you know that I have a YouTube channel? I grew my home care marketing business from YouTube. When my kids tell me when they grow up they want to be a YouTuber, at first I used to laugh, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm a YouTuber. I guess let me embrace this and show them how it's done. That's not how you edit a video, ha ha ha, right? But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's so important that people do it, because people get too caught up in the minutia of it. And you know what's happened from it? I have literally been able to take this business and I launched a magazine. 18 months ago, I launched a home care magazine, right? And you see it right here, this is the proof. I promised I'll autograph this one for you. Here you go, Colleen, right? That's the first one, all right? And then I'll come over here on this side here. Here you go. There you go, Anju. Nice to see you again. I'm glad you're here. But the reason why I showed you that magazine there, it's not a bragging thing. It's just opportunity that comes along the way. In my space, there's 50,000 business owners in the United States in the home care market. 30,000 of them are subscribing to receive that magazine every quarter. I only put out 6 issues, but that's opportunity of getting it done. Now, are there hiccups along the way? You bet there is. The magazine that went out just 2 weeks ago, we misspelled one of the author's names right on the cover. That was great. I had to have them go back and fix it. I had to go send out a reprint. We had to do this, we had to do that, blah, 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 whatever. But we fixed it and it's done. And those 30,000 people who are receiving it, who are reading it, they're calling me for services right now. That person is getting asked to speak at conferences and events in her area, which is only going to put her business even more on the map than it already is. Does this make sense, everybody? Right? And I'm not saying you have to go start a magazine. I'm not saying you have to start a YouTube channel. What I am saying is be whoever you are. Be whoever you want to be, but live it in all aspects of your life so that when other people see it, that is living your brand. And opportunities will come to you, because I can guarantee one thing. And you heard Jocelyn and I before talking about abundance. We're talking about hundreds of trillions of dollars out there. There's plenty to be gained. Just be yourself. Take initiative, get the client testimonies, share it with everyone, and make it happen. And so in closing here, these are some pictures of me. That's Forbes Riley over there in the top left. I introduced her at an event. She and I are really good friends. She sold billions of dollars worth of stuff on QVC. This is Kevin Harrington down at the bottom, not Kevin O'Leary, Kevin Harrington, who was one of the original Sharks in the very first season. He's involved in infomercials. You ever hear of an infomercial? He's one of the people who was involved with founding the way that people do it. I've been written in hundreds of different authors, different magazines and whatnot. I stay at the best, finest hotels with my family and whatnot because I'm living my brand. And then the picture here is when I received an award in 2018 for being one of the most influential speakers on earth. I'm proud of that, but it's all because of just being who I am. I'm the same person you'll see in the gym that's talking right now, that's up there in those pictures. I'm the same person that you'll see later on tonight when I'm going to act a fool with my brother, who's here right there, Scott Weiss, right? And we're going to have some drink, and we're going to have some gambling, have a good time before we go home tomorrow, and then I'll be doing a podcast or something on Friday and a bunch of stuff next week. But live your brand. When you live it, you don't have to try, and it takes all the guesswork out of it. All right, and so last here, some pictures of more people, social proof here, because it's all about the social proof down in Florida. Here's more pictures from Colorado. Here's pictures of us in Nashville, Tennessee. We actually went and visited a Civil War restored cottage down there. This is me and some of my clients. I told you I like cigars. This guy right here is Cigar Tom. I call him all my clients. He's famous. Everybody's like, Steve, you keep showing all these pictures of me with cigars. We're hanging out down in the Bahamas. The lady who is next to me here, she brought her 16-year-old son with her, and I taught him how to smoke a cigar. It was really funny. International waters, right? It was great. But we had a blast on that trip, right? And we're also talking business, by the way. I don't want you to think that we just hang out. We make money, right? People don't do this if they're not making money. But the New York City, this is the rooftop bar over there at the top of the Knickerbocker Hotel, right across where the ball drops every New Year's Eve, right? Here's another picture, I think, of us somewhere else doing San Diego, California. I brought my kids and wife on this one. This was a couple years ago, our clients hanging out there on a boat cruise. We even went to the freaking moon, right? This is actually Houston, Texas, mission control for NASA there, right? But in the end, folks, don't quit. Do it, all right? If you need help, you want to connect with me, you want to be on my show, I have a show, you want to write an article in a magazine, I got magazines. I'm here to help you live your brand. When you live your brand, you don't have to work a day in your life. Things are great. Everything will come. God bless each and every one of you. Safe travels home. Thank you. Look at that. I had 42 seconds left. Any questions? Yes, Ethan. 39, 38. Thank you. Ethan, I could not have paid for a better question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So for everybody back home, if you didn't hear that, Ethan just asked, what if you're introverted? Like, Steve, clearly you came out of your mother's womb with a microphone, right? So you're an extrovert. But what if I'm introverted? How can I do this? What I always say is luck favors the prepared, right? So I have a lot of clients who I'm helping to do exactly what we're talking about here, and you can practice. What I love about social media, what I love about the digital age is you can film and record yourself. I don't like that take. Film and record yourself. I don't like that take. You can do it again and again and again and again and again. Oh, right? But you could do it again and again and again and again until you get it right. But what happens is practice does make better. Maybe not perfect, but does make better. And then with the little bit of social awkwardness from the introverted person who's more nervous about doing it, that will attract customers to you because it's real. Right? It's real. The social awkwardness, believe it or not, 2/3 of the population are introverted. So there are people who are hearing what I'm saying and like, Steve, I could never stand up in front of a room and do all the stuff that you just did. I could never do it. I don't want you to do that. I'm Steve the Hurricane. You be Ethan, what's your last name? Ethan Raziano, right? I said Ethan Hunt before, right? Ethan Raziano, you be you. If you're the introverted person, that's fine. Script, prepare, rehearse in front of a mirror, rehearse with your spouse, rehearse with people that you're familiar with and comfortable with, so that when you are now speaking in front of people that you're not comfortable with, you know exactly what to say and how to deliver it and just stick to the script. So I love that question. So over time now, thank you. I have more time? Right? Do you guys have any questions or anything you want to discuss? Yeah, go ahead. What's your name, sir? Patient.
So you mentioned not complaining about your clients.
Yes.
I'll be very honest. I complain about clients. I know a lot of people who own businesses who are in leadership positions who complain about clients. So do you think that's something that people should address individually, that should be addressed societally, or do you just think people should fire clients if they want to complain about it?
Ooh. Very good question. So basically the question for everybody back home is people complain about their clients all the time. So is this something that society needs to change? Is it something that that person needs to change? Or should that person fire their clients? And I will say a combination. It depends on the client. So you heard me talk about how I had some clients, I have some over the last 12 years in business who have taken advantage of people. I fire those clients because that's unethical. And I'm not going to work with somebody who's unethical. So those clients get fired. Do I have PITAs? Right? PITAs, pain in the ass. I definitely have PITAs. I definitely have them. And when I hear my office staff complain about it, I was like, all right, don't complain, improve. How can we get better at serving that person? This is where the core values really come in. Because then I can go back and reference it and use it as to how we're going to dictate the actions and the culture of how we're going to embrace that difficult client. Many a time, a difficult client who's working with one of the coaches who works for me will get elevated to me, and then I have a conversation with them. When I have the conversation with them, now I'm the owner of the company, I'm Steve the Hurricane, I will hurricanize that person. And I've literally had conversations. I had hurricanize, yeah, it's a term that we use, I go Cat 5, right, Category 5, hurricane, you're not gonna like me when I'm angry, right? But I do this with my clients. I literally will talk to them and I'll say, are you gonna do what it is that we need you to do? Like I go right back to it. I literally had this lady who wrote me an email thanking me for what we did. I spoke to her back in February, Lisa. Right? My brother, he's shaking his head, because everybody in the office was complaining about Lisa all the time. And so I said, I'm gonna talk to Lisa. I get on the phone with Lisa. Lisa, you owe me money. We have a contract for $10,000 that you have to pay over a certain period of time. I don't care about the money. I'm gonna let you out of this contract today if we can't solve how we're gonna do this. But let me ask you, because she's calling, complaining, my business isn't growing. I'm working with you for marketing and I'm not growing my business. I'm like, you're the problem. I literally told her, I said, are you gonna do this? Do you want to save your company? And it was a straight heart to heart. And this is on video chat, and she was not expecting that. She was expecting me to just, give her this and give her that. I said, no. I'm not going to give you anything. You owe me money. I'm not going to do anything else. We're just going to end right here, or we're going to make it happen. It was a come to Jesus moment. And after that moment, it was a transformation in her. She's like, you're right. I'm not doing what you're telling me to do. I'm not following through. I'm not getting the things to you that you need to be able to help me help myself. I'm gonna commit to this. And I said, if you're gonna commit to this, then I'm gonna commit to you. Now, next question. How are you going to catch up on what you're behind with me? We worked out some terms. We had a couple of things, whatever. From then to now, this was already $1 million plus year business, right? So it's not a small company, but still doing over $1 million in revenue, right? She has grown her business by 4 times what she was doing in February. And it is July. And she just wrote me an email thanking me for what I taught her to be able to do a lunch at a hospital, which is going to lead to even more business down the line for later on this year. So have that heart to heart would be the other aspect of it. And then yes, there needs to be a change. It's something that I'm very passionate about. That's why I'm up here speaking. And I speak to entrepreneurs all the time. And I speak to people in general. I preach in my church, right? So I'm speaking to people of all backgrounds and whatnot. But yeah, there needs to be a change in society, not just from business owners, from people in general, to stop complaining about everything and look at how blessed we actually are. Take a walk down the strip and see all the homeless people laying on the ground last night. We're complaining, and we slept in a beautiful hotel. We slept at Harrah's. It's not, the Bellagio. It's not the Wynn. We're at Harrah's. It was $39 room block, right? Come on. Get over ourselves. Let's stop complaining. Let's actually appreciate what we have, because when we appreciate, I guarantee your cup will eventually runneth over. Fantastic question. Thank you so much. Any other questions? Yes, my friend in the back. Yeah, thank you so much. Is it on there? Tony in the back there?
Mentorship, especially when you're in the early stages. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. How you prioritize and how you pick who do you want to mentor yourself or for yourself in the company? That'll be a question.
All right, so let me get it straight. So you're in a similar situation as me as a consultant type of thing. And so how do you choose who you're going to work with as the business owner, right? Very good question. And in what area? So when I first got started, I was a one-man operation. And I fell into this problem real quickly. So even though this was before I had my come to Jesus moment that I had mentioned with the branding there, I did have a lot of success early on. I actually got to a point where I was consulting and coaching with 27 different clients, about an hour a week each one. I would literally wake up Monday morning, and my first client was at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was every hour with 30 minutes in between until 10 o'clock at night with people in Alaska, Hawaii, and other countries around the world with different time zones. I did that on Monday, I did it on Tuesday, and I did it on Wednesday. And what happened was, while I was making money, great, I had no time. I couldn't even go to the bathroom. I didn't have time to take a shower. I take a shower Sunday night and the next shower Thursday morning. I'm not kidding. You guys, my wife. It was ridiculous in the beginning, right? And so it was very difficult for me, once I started hiring coaches and other people to do the work, it was very difficult to get people to want to work with the people who worked with me, because everybody wanted to work with me. So what I would suggest to somebody getting started, make sure that you value your time. I cannot stress that enough. There are 168 hours in every single week, no matter what. I don't care if you're the richest person in the world or you are homeless on the street. We all got 168 hours in every single week, right? Something that people heard me say this at lunch, right? If you earmark or if you block off 8 hours a day, 7 days a week for sleep, that's 56 hours. 168 minus 56, that leaves you with 112 hours. What I always tell every person, doesn't matter who you are, just spend 10% of that 112 hours on yourself every single week. That's 12 hours. That leaves you 100 hours to do everything else you have to do. But with that 100 hours, put a dollar amount on it. Somebody wants to work with me, those people in the pictures, my client, $30,000, $40,000 to work with me. You want to work with one of my coaches, $21,000, right? So there's an elevation there, right? And all of a sudden people are like, oh, I'll work with one of the coaches. And the coaches have plenty of successes and testimonies as well. That's scaling it as you go. But pick and choose who you want to spend your time and then charge accordingly. That's the best advice I can give to somebody who's getting started or somebody who's a business owner and everybody wants to work with them and you're only one person. Get good at saying no. Get good at delegating. I got a whole session called Efficiency for the Win. Make more money, work less, efficiency for the win. That's the full title of it, and it's all about efficiencies, putting the work priorities second to your own personal life priorities, so that when you are working, everything that matters to you as a person has been satisfied, so that you can then serve your clients and give them the very best services and exceed their expectations. That was a fantastic question. I hope I answered it for you there. Question up here? I did? Oh, look at that. I answered 2 questions. 2 birds, 1 stone. Love it. Colleen. Marketing conference.
How can people find you? How can they get in touch with you? What's your podcast?
Thank you, Colleen. How do you find me? I'm Steve the Hurricane. That's how you can look up Steve the Hurricane. There's one in the world. I'm the only one. And that's the easiest way to do it. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. Some channels are busier than others. I'm on YouTube. Just Steve the Hurricane. You can find me that way, stevethehurricane.com. I'm revamping that website eventually when it gets done, but you can reach out to me. If you email me, just steve@stevethehurricane.com. That's the easiest way to reach me. If you want to go through my home care business, because that's like the Hurricane Marketing Enterprises is a parent company. So I have a home care business, I have a speaking business, I have a nonprofit, the Institute for Dignity and Grace, and there's other things that I'm working on for like small businesses and whatnot as time is going on. So steve@stevethehurricane.com is my email, or steve@homecareevolution.com. Yes, in the back of the room, sir. What's your name?
My name's also Ethan.
Ethan. We got a lot of Ethans here. That's the name of the conference. Tesla. I say in that case, work with them and see what you can come up with. Talk to your legal advice and your legal team on it, because if you can get things removed or modify the NDA a little bit, that will be a huge, huge help. Another way that you can do it early on, depending on how much flexibility you have in the business, is maybe give a discount or a percentage off the continuation fee if they give you a testimony. I remember, even though it was a shady company, that basement waterproofing company, one thing I did learn was they said that if you give us a testimony, we'll give you 5% off the bill if we can use your information, and we get people to sign it, and then we can use them as a testimony down the line. So there's different ways that you can go about doing it, and that's how I would handle that. Very, very good question. Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? Man, you guys are fantastic. Give it up for yourselves. It's been 3 days, right? A good conference. But it's been 3 days, all right? Katie, I'll turn it back over to you. And everybody else, again, if you want to have a drink with the Hurricane, that's the name of my show. Let's go have a drink with the Hurricane. And let's, roulette table is where you will find me, all right? Roulette 19, 23, 31, and 13. Just saying, all right? You're welcome. You're welcome. I love you guys. Thank you.